Hi friends, good morning. Now let us discuss about the basic facts of reality. So when we think about reality, what we see in this phenomenal universe, we have to understand that it has been made up of basically five factors. One is the solid material, another is the fluid material, another is the light or fire material, another is the gaseous material, and the last is the etheric material. These are the five factors, whatever you see. These five factors, they dominate whatever you see, they are made up of the five factors. These five factors are called as five elements in the East. In India, they are specifically called as Panchabhutas. Panchabhudam, five Bhutas. Bhutas means elements. So it is not air, it is not water, it is not earth. No, don't take that way. You will be helpless. You cannot understand the reality. It is solid, it is fluid, it is fire or gaseous form, it is pure gas, and then it is etheric. That etheric factor is called as Akash, Agayam or Akasam. So everything is made up of the five factors or the five elements. So in primordial ages, these five factors were called as Na Ma Si Va Ya. This Na Ma Si Va Ya represents the five factors of the existence. But these things cannot exist as it is. There should be a base element. Okay. The base element is the Akash or the etheric factor. Agayam, Agasam. That is the base. It is also called as Chit Agayam or Chit Agasham, Chitagasha. What do you mean by Chit Agasha? The void of consciousness. So there is a void of consciousness, an ocean of consciousness, pure consciousness. From there, slowly, one by one, the other factor arises. The base factor is consciousness. And in quantum physics, this is called as unified field. This basic consciousness is called as unified field. I am not speaking about God here. Please understand, I am not speaking about religion. The basic consciousness factor, the basic unified field, which is the base of everything. From there, the worldly reality is projected as a hologram. It is a holographic model. The whole reality of the world is a hologram which is projected from the Akash, from the Chitagash. From the sea of consciousness, it generates the other elements, or it seems to be, and it creates a false reality, that is a holographic reality, that is the worldly existence or the worldly phenomenon. Number two, you are taught that the human beings originated from apes. It is not. The history of human beings in this planet predates millions and millions of years. In fact, the human form actually originated in another galaxy. They came to this galaxy, and in our Milky Way, the humanoid forms were first formed in Lyra constellation. Lyra constellation. In Tamil, we call it as Moola Nakshatra. Moola means source. Since in our galaxy, since these humanoid forms appeared first in the Lyra constellation, it is called as the source constellation or Moola Nakshatra. Moola means source. Moola Nakshatra. So from there, the humanoid forms, they formed. Who formed them? No one formed them. They came from the source. What is the source? The source is ever presence The source is omnipresence, existence. The source is the consciousness itself. The source is the Chit Agash. And you can also call this Parama Agash. The eternal source. So from there, the humanoid forms appeared by the will of the eternal source. See, I am not uttering a single word about God or religion. This is all pure science. I am speaking this from some records. There are records in Sumeria, ancient Sumeria, which predates biblical time. So they say that the Anunnaki gods, they came from Nibiru planet, they came from another planet, they came here, they habitated this planet, they wanted a slave race, so they created an amalgamation of the then evolving human species with their own DNA. They formed Homo sapiens. Before their time, there was Homo erectus in this planet, but these Homo sapiens were formed by these extraterrestrial beings who were the Anunnaki gods of Sumeria. They came in Vimanas or UFO, in aircrafts. So they came, they manipulated the human beings here. So they created Adapa and Tidhi. In India, we call them as Tidhi, and the first among the 7 sages, that is Kashyapa, Kasiyappan. This Adapa is named as Kasiyapa here. Kasiyappan, the father of Kasi, the city of Kasi, the oldest city. This Kashyapa Muni and Tidhi were created by these extraterrestrials. And you know, according to the Indian Puranas, this Kashyapa Muni is the progenitor of the human species. He is the Adapa or Kashyapa. Kashyapa Muni, Kashyap and Tidhi. So this is the fact. These Puranas are basically, they were the happenings which were recorded in a dual language. Whatever happened millions and millions of years ago, they were recorded in dual language. So first I told that human beings are not from apes. They were manipulated by the extraterrestrial beings. We can call them as devas, okay, because they know the art of immortality. This Enki, there is a person called as Enki among the immortal extraterrestrial beings who gave the knowledge of immortality to the human beings. This Enki became God later on, was worshipped as God by the human beings. You can equate this Enki with Adi Shiva or Adi Murugan. They were all worshipped as a serpent form because Enki was cursed by his fellow beings to be worshipped as a serpent. So in India, Adishwara is worshipped, Nageshwara is worshipped in the serpent form. If you go down to south, Lord Karthik or Adi Murugan, Adi Subramanya is worshipped in serpent form. So it's none else than Enki of Sumeria, the one who gave the art of immortality to the human beings. Okay, now these human beings, they came to know that they are from the source and they have a unit of source within them and they are immortal. They came to know, human beings came to know that they can become gods. And this was a blast among the extraterrestrials. They cannot accept this because they wanted them to be created as a slave race. But unfortunately, they got the knowledge from Enki, from the serpent. They got the knowledge of immortality. So they came to know that they can become gods. So this is the actual thing. This is the history of the human race. Clear-cut history of human race according to the Sumerian texts, according to the Indian Puranas. These extraterrestrials are called as Devas in Indian Puranas. They call us the Devas. Or we can call them as Siddhas. The celestial immortals, the celestial Siddhas. So these Siddhas were responsible for the presence of Homo sapiens in this planet. We can call them as Anunnakis, Naga Siddhas, or immortals. But they have extraterrestrial origin. So we are also having an extraterrestrial origin. And our body is made up of 5 sheets. The Annamaya Kosa, what we see, the material body, that is Annamaya Kosa. Next is the Pranamaya Kosa, the vital sheath. Then comes the Manomaya Kosha, that is the mind body, the mind essence. Then comes the Vijnanamaya Kosa, that is the intellect body. At last comes the Anantamaya Kosa, that is the bliss body. The bliss body is directly connected with the source. All our systems, they disconnect you from the bliss body. All the things of yoga and tantra or Vedas, they connect you with the bliss body. Everything is science here. Once you are connected with the bliss body, you are connected with the source. Once you are connected with the source, you can tap the knowledge. Whatever knowledge you want, you will get from the source. Because the source is the birthplace of everything, every knowledge. The source can be called as Sat, Chit, Ananta. Sat means the ever presence, which is always present. Chit means that awareness of always being present, that awareness of being present. And the feeling of being everywhere, that is Chit. When these two things are combined together, there is bliss, that is Ananta. This is the address of source. This is the address of source itself. I repeat, I am not telling about any god or religion. So try to understand our being, our 5 sheets, the 5 elements and the source. So if there is any healing method, it has to deal with the 5 sheets. If there is any dealing method at all, if there is any healing method at all, it has to deal with the 5 sheets. It has to deal with 5 elements. There is no other way. There is no other way. It has to deal with the 5 elements. That is why in India, in China, in the eastern part of the whole world, eastern world, India, China, Japan, Southeast Asia, the medicine is based on 5 elements. Not only in the eastern part. In the ancient world, especially Kemet, Egypt, and African countries, even in Europe, they use the 5 elements. Later on, Hippocrates took only 4 elements. But before Hippocrates, there was 5 elements. So Hippocrates, he took only 4 elements and he created a medical field. But in reality, there were 5 elements. The first element is the Matru Bhuta, the mother element, that is the Akasha. That is the etheric field. So the whole problem is understanding the Akasha, etheric field. For that, you have to practice yoga or tantra or meditation. You have to get connected with the etheric field. There is no other way. But you can understand it, you can study it, that the existence of etheric field in many possible methods, but you can feel it only through meditation or yoga or tantra. So, this is all about the existence and the first healing methods. So, when consciousness is everything, then the first healing method should be from the consciousness field. It should be from the Akash. So, Adi Shiva, the first extraterrestrial who gave the knowledge to us, or Adi Murugan, he gave us the varma chikitsha, marmam, the secret. Marma chikitchai, marmam, the secret. That means there are specific points in the human body where the cosmic energy rotates and it is getting stagnated and it stays. There are some points where it rotates, there are some points where it stays still, there are some points where it is stagnated. These points are the very important meridian points through which this body is communicating with the cosmos. The cosmic energy is running like a blood circulation. The cosmic energy is circulating in our body through these points. These points were called as marma points. So the first healing method was marma chikitsha, that is marma healing. The actual name is varma chikitsha, because it is derived from the ancient Tamil word varma, that means secret. So by altering cosmic energy directly in the body, healing was done. Just by looking, just by intention, by looking at the point, just by intention. Because the healing is done here with the help of pranic body, mind body and intellect body. There is no need for physical body here. Just when there is intention, then there is a compassion, then when he looks at the particular point of distress, then automatically that energy is balanced there. It gets a little bit cosmic energy and it gets balanced. This was the first healing method which was given by Adi Shiva. It became varma chikitsha. Even now you can see this in the ancient inhabitants of Australia, the remnants of this marma chikitsha, because they are the direct descendants of Lemuria continent, which was submerged in the sea, which was the oldest civilization, which started from the southern part of India and it went up to Madagascar and Australia. So the Lemurian beings, they were now present in the form of Australian Aboriginals, and they practice this varma chikitsha. And the Tamil Siddhas, they were great pioneers in developing this varma chikitsha. Later on, it went to northern part of India. It became marma chikitsha. So you should understand the first healing techniques were intention techniques, energy techniques based on the energy body. Later on, due to the degradation of intellect in human beings, it became more physical. Just by touching there was no other way. They have to touch the particular point. Before there was no touch. Just by looking, they can give a healing. But due to the fall of intellect, it became more physical. Then they have to use the physical body to project the prana into the patient's body. So, in this video, I am clearly explaining the first healing methods were clearly Akashic healing methods based on manipulating the prana or vital force. Now the scope of homeopathy here is it does the same work. It manipulates the vital force by directly altering the manomaya kosa, that is the mind body, and the intellect body, vijnanamaya kosa. It directly alters. These homeopathic medicines, they take their essence through the pranamaya kosa, then they alter the manomaya kosa and vijnanamaya kosa, so that a cure is clearly obtained. This is the work of homeopathy here. So I thought that this pranic healing will be a complementary for homeopathic medicines. That is why our father Dr. Hahnemann in homeopathic aphorisms, at last he came to the tip of the iceberg. He told about animal magnetism. But unfortunately he was not aware of varma chikitsha in India. Being a German, there was no other way for him. But at least he realized the tip of the iceberg, that everything is conscious medicine. The last frontier is consciousness medicine. It is the akashic medicine. It is the vital force medicine. So, this pranic healing can be a best complementary for homeopathic medicines. Thank you. We will see in another video. Dr. Velu Narayanan, Arogya Homeopathy Clinic, founder of Yogic Homeopathy.